Hi there, Peter Terrace here, and I want to talk to you today about good and evil and the interaction of how people can be judged as good or evil. Listen, I want to start with a story. When my two daughters, my two eldest daughters, were about 5 and 3, we would say prayers at night. And at the end of our prayers, there would be a so-called special prayer that my daughters would say. And my one daughter, the older one, she would say, hey, we pray for all the people in the world. And I say, wait a second. After we were done, I say, wait a second. Do you also pray for all the bad people? I kind of got her there. And then after that, she would pray in this way. She would say, we pray for all the people in the world except the bad people. It comes to a very good question. Who are the good people and who are the bad people? Alexandre Solzhenitsyn, I think he sums it up really nicely in his book, The Gulag Archipelago. He says that the line that separates the good from the bad runs through the heart of every individual. And when you start to group good people over there, bad people over there, you're dividing people. Whenever you divide people, they're more easily controlled. This is part of the control mechanism every government has used. You try to separate people. Those are the bad guys. We're the good guys. Here's a gun and just shoot, right? So you want to keep it simple. But at the same time, life is not that straightforward and it's not that simple. That's why I don't hate anybody. And I never, when I'm discussing something with a person that opposes my view, I never judge them. I always judge their actions or their ideas. So I don't hate anybody, but I do hate ideas that undermine justice, that go against freedom, that oppose natural law. These are things that, yes, I hate ideas that oppose these fundamental truths, but I don't hate the person that holds the ideas. And it's very important because when you divide people and say, well, that person is bad, then you automatically discount them. You don't even listen to them. And that's wrong. And that's why I try not to do that. Although I'm a human being, I still fall for that trap and I still do that. But I definitely try not to do that. And Ben Shapiro famously said, facts don't care about your feelings. And I believe that to be true. But facts are more easily absorbed when a person's feelings are taken into consideration. I'll give you an example. We've all been in this situation where we're in a heated argument. Nobody's really listening to anybody. But what you remember is how you felt. You felt angry when you left the conversation. That's why when I try to discuss with my opponents who have different views, I don't even call them my opponents, who hold a view that is in opposition to the views I hold. I try to be more understanding. I try to be, it can be difficult at times for sure. But I try to do that. I do my best to do that. And, because I want them to leave, feeling good. And so that way they might remember one or two things that I said during our conversation, so that they might reconsider, their view that obviously I would be discussing with them because I believe their view would oppose human dignity. And I like to believe that all my views are in concert with human dignity. But now I must be humble, and that is one of my life's aspirations is to become more humble. And so how do I do that? I do that by admitting that I could be wrong. And that's why it's important for me to listen. When I'm talking to someone and they have an opposing view, I want to listen. I don't want to just assume that I know what they believe. I want to understand because I can't judge their intentions. In fact, I know that anybody who holds any view believes they are doing it for the right reasons, that they are well-intentioned. The only thing I can judge is their judgment. That for sure I can. And so I try to bring that up. So I just wanted to bring that up and just say that, I think politics is about winning hearts and minds. It's not just about winning arguments. Sometimes when you win an argument, you can gain an enemy, and you can gain someone who's going to be more obstinate in their position against you. So I think it's important to say, okay, sometimes it's okay to lose an argument as long as you keep the dialogue open and you keep any person willing to listen to your ideas. And that's really all I wanted to say. My name again is Peter Terrace. And you know what? In the next federal election, I'm going to be a candidate in the riding of Niagara South, which includes Port Colborne, Thorold, Fort Erie, and Welland. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.